Hey guys, Fresh Cakes here. Bringing you a DDD deck. Um, this is just a deck that I made with the three structures. It's as budget as possible. I'll show you. Like the most expensive thing is the extra deck. And there's pretty suitable replacements for it. Like it's not super crazy. I think the only card that's kind of mandatory to run in the extra deck that costs a lot is the Crystal Wing. That's about it. All right, so let's go straight into the monsters. You play three of every of your combo piece. So like triple Lamia, 3 Necro Slime, 3 Swirl Slime. Then you play your Scale Ragnarok, triple Copernicus, almost 3 of like all the good DDD monsters, 3 Kepler as well, and then I didn't want to dish out the money for Desires, even though it's like a really good card. I'm playing trade-ins instead, so I'm running 3 other level 8s, 2 Thomas, which is pretty standard in most builds, and 1 Doom King, just because I find like you can just attack with like a big attack, and it can't be destroyed by certain cards like Regeki, Dark Hole, stuff like that. And I'm playing the 1 Orthos. Orthos is just good for like spell and trap removal. It's once per turn. Also helps you get rid of your contracts if you can't handle the burn. But yeah, so that's it for the monsters. Pretty standard. Like everyone should be running 3 of all the cards I was running 3 of. Now the main difference in this deck versus everyone else's build is like I'm running the 3 gates. I'm running the 1 swamp. And I'm also running the Yama Kamikai, whatever. With trade-in, you send a lot of your 8s to the grave, and with this card, you just bring them from the grave to the zone, to the pendulum zone. So like trade-in Ragnarok, and like I also found that gate and swamp, you almost never use both of them unless you opened really good. And if you opened really good, you don't need to use swamp anyways. But I found that when I opened Savant and Gate, I always search this card because I always sent Ragnarok, and it helps you it helps you go into your librarian formula plays. And I think it's just very, very good card. You wouldn't run it at more than 1 because you only want to see it once to bring that scale back, and that's it. So that's the contract, at least the spells. Then there is the typical draw engine, triple Allure, triple Trade-In, and we got 1 Upstart Goblin. Then for the other 1-ofs, since we're on that, we have 1 Foolish, 1 for 1. 1 for 1 is so strong. And then one card that I've gotten a lot of shit about too is Reasoning. I'm not sure how many builds are running Reasoning right now, but it's a risky card. I mean, as risky as Reasoning has ever been. But usually, since all your monsters in here are DDDs, so if you can resolve it, it just helps get an additional summon, and you could just like break open. You can break open someone's play with this, or someone's board with it. Only running 3 traps in the main deck. Haven't decided on a side deck yet, but these are the 3 most important traps. 3 Eradicator, or sorry, 1 Eradicator, 1 Dark Witch, and 1 Vanities. Pretty much this is a blowout. This you just use to sort of mess around with your opponent. You only search it if you like open lots of contracts, but it's not very necessary. And then Vanities is just a blowout itself. So no side deck yet, but we'll go into the extra deck real quick, and we'll talk about that a little bit. So as far as the synchros go, you're running 1 Siegfried, which is like, if you can't go into Crystal Wing, you go into Siegfried. Formula, Genghis, like tons of ways to get into him. 1 Alexander. Alexander's great. Alexander is what you want to use to get into your Crystal Wing plays, just because like use Alexander Effect, special summon back Lamia, Crystal Wing. What else? Okay, so, Omega, very expensive, but very, very good in this deck. You banish so many cards. I almost thought of running Pot of Equitativeness in the deck, because you banish just too much, even without Desires. So like a good replacement for Omega, like if you don't want to run Omega, would be like Archfiend, so like Red Dragon Archfiend, just like another 8. You always need this to be a Synchro 8, because you just run out of options otherwise. I'm also playing 1 Crystal Wing, just card's too good. 1 Trish. Now, you don't need to play Trish, because that is a fairly expensive card too. You could run the level 9 Crystron that everyone's running. It's Crystron Phoenix. I don't run it, but it's a pretty good card against certain matchups. Pretty much just Paleos. But it's, yeah, very, very good card. And then you run Meteor Burst. I was originally running Clearwing, but the fact that Meteor Burst can just special summon one of your scales and not negate its effect is just way too strong. It goes into some pretty nutty plays if you have Copernicus or Thomas or 2 scales set. So you have quite a variety. You can even like Savant. Another reason why I play this card is because it's like any Pendulum monster in my Pendulum Zone. I can just put it in the scale if I need it, and then go into a 7 Synchro, and then I get it on the field. And then the last 2, but the best 2, wins you every single game, Librarian and Formula Synchron. Draw 2, and then sync into this in special, or Alexander, or anything. It gets you access to pretty much everything while refilling your hand. That's it for the Synchros. For the Fusions, you're just playing 1 Beowulf because you just need an 8 Fusion. 1 Dark because, well, it's just a very, very good card. I was thinking of playing, Where Art Thou's? Because this is just busted with it, gain 2,000 instead of burn for 2,000. But I couldn't find any Where Art Thou's, so I'm in the midst of getting them now. 2 Genghis. Pretty much your playmaker of the deck. You run 2, might want to run 3, depending on what your opponent, like what the meta is. Just because if this gets stopped, pretty much all your plays get stopped. And then I'm only running 3 Xyz, but they're like the most important Xyz. DD King. Big King Kali Yuga. He's nuts. He's just like destroy everything. If your opponent plays back row, they should fear this card. Harbinger, just to negate spells. And to protect some of your monsters. But you just play Harbinger because you can get into 8s so easily that like negating a spell is so strong when you have a second negate spell or trap. And then I play 1 Beatrice. Beatrice just fixes like really shit boards. It's essentially pitch 2. Pitch 2 to the grave. So like pitch your Lamia, pitch your Swirl, pitch whatever you need to, and hopefully you fix your stuff by next turn. Haven't really created a side deck for this yet because, well, I still need to learn all the combos and whatnot. But yeah, that's it. That's the DDD profile. So, Fresh Cakes signing out.